Contestant, Rachel Ringenbach, in defense of the dumb phone. In defense of the dumb phone, Rachel Ringenbach.
My fellow Toastmasters, I must confess to you, I have a dumb phone. And even more strangely, I'm okay with my dumb phone. So today, I'd like to tell you about why my dumb phone is actually a great phone. I got my first phone when I was a freshman in high school. It was one of those fancy Razor flip phones. Well, it was fancy for those days back in high school. I think my manager, Bob Poole, still actually has that same type of flip phone. There was no color display on it, no camera, and not even the worm game on it. But it could make calls, and more importantly, it could text. And texting back then meant you were one of the cool kids. Although, at 10 cents a text, my mom didn't really appreciate my brothers and me texting each other from across the dinner table. Over the years, I slowly upgraded my phone to lag behind the rest of technology. When I was in college, I finally got a phone with a color display. Then a few years later, I finally got a phone that could take and send fuzzy, mostly unrecognizable, tiny little pictures, but they were pictures, darn it. Then, finally, I upgraded to my current phone. Not only does this phone have a color display, it's pink. But wait, there's more to this phone. This high-tech gadget even has a snazzy slide-out keyboard for optimal texting power. I had moved up in the cell phone world when I got this phone, although now, of course, that was over 5 years ago at this point. Nowadays, I get strange looks when people see my phone. It's the same look that you would give to somebody who's still sporting their clothes from the 80s. My phone is really the electronic equivalent of wearing a dress with shoulder pads. But it's a darn good phone. It's been trusty and reliable over the years. I've dropped this phone more times than I could possibly count. Within 24 hours of getting it, I had dropped it in a bowl of tomato soup while I was talking to my mom. But I was able to fish it out, dry it off, and call my mom back and talk to her again within 10 minutes of it. If you drop your smartphone, you're lucky if the worst damage you get is a cracked phone. And God forbid you even drink a glass of water too close to your smartphone. This phone, though, this phone is like a cockroach. I just can't kill it. Over the years, the battery has been knocked out of place more times than I can count, due to my dropping it more times than I can count. If you look very closely on the back here, you can see a little corner of a yellow Post-it. That's the only thing that holds the battery in place within the phone. I've knocked it out so many times. But my battery can go for days at a time without needing to be recharged. My friends are constantly complaining about how short their battery life is, but not my phone. My phone might not do very much, but neither does your smartphone when you've drained your battery playing Angry Birds all day. Additionally, I spend all day on a computer at work, and all night too when I'm in school. Why would I want to spend any more time on an even smaller computer screen? If I really wanted to watch hours of YouTube LOL cat videos, couldn't I just use my laptop? And I've yet to miss a Facebook update so urgent and important that I felt the need to get a smartphone to have 24/7 streaming to what my friends ate for dinner that night. The only exception was when I missed a dinner invite from my neighbors. I did miss wings that night, but I've since trained them to text me instead because my phone gets text messages. Finally, there's the cost factor involved. My phone may be old, but it's paid for. These smartphones, they're expensive. My limited research shows that a smartphone can cost anywhere from $200 to $800. I'm a single-income household with 3 dependent pets. Do you know how many bags of prescription dog food you can get for $800? 16 bags! 16 bags of dog food. That's more than a year's worth of food for my old fat special needs dog. And besides the initial cost of that phone, there's also the monthly upgrade to the data plan that you'll need. Clearly, the type of people that can afford that kind of monthly plan don't have the special needs pets that I have to pay for. Now, I'll admit it, that Siri function is pretty cool, especially the reminder function on it. But I've used my phone as a Siri long before Apple came up with that idea. And you can too, if your phone doesn't have a Siri on it. It's simple, really. You take a Post-it note, you write down your reminder on the Post-it note. You stick it to the back of your phone. Now you have a reminder. Pick up the dog food. The dog food that you can afford because you didn't blow all of your money on that. Sure, it would be nice to have one of those fancy pants smartphones that can do it all. It would be nice to have directions and maps at my fingertips every time I get lost. Or to have Facebook access when we're trying to pull up the Facebook profile of the guy that we just met and we're trying to stalk. Not able to do that. But realistically, I can call Tracy and get directions for the 5th time to the salon that we always go to when I got lost again. And I've never been that far from somebody else's smartphone that we can't look at the Facebook profile, not that we would do that. You might all laugh at my dumb phone, but one day, mark my words, it's going to be valuable. My phone is vintage, and vintage things come back into style.